The pen and paper combo is arguably one of the oldest pieces of tech we've had, and while the saying goes that the pen is mightier than the sword, it's also safe to say that this combo has contributed to the many innovations of the modern world. Now, side note, a little history lesson for you all. Petrarch Poinero, a Roman engineer, mathematician, and inventor, was credited for developing the first fountain pen in 1827. So it's been a minute since they've been out. Now, without ink on paper, the calculations, research, blueprints, and schematics for generations of technological innovation simply wouldn't exist. Alright, so that's all good and fine, but we live in this new modern digital age, right? An era that's dominated by technology, and its influence has only become more prominent since the pandemic, especially when it comes to digital learning. So why even bother with physical note-taking? I mean, these days, pretty much everything can be done through a digital aid. I mean, most of my friends can't even remember the last time they actually put pen on paper. So what's the point of this? Well, that's actually what I intend to explore in this video, and I aim to actually share my experiences with physical note-taking in 2023. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so let's start off at a simpler time. Now, back in high school, I didn't have a tablet or an iPad or even a laptop. All my work was done on good old-fashioned books. You had like 5 or 6 books for note-taking, depending on how many subjects you took, as well as textbooks for those subjects. Now, I wasn't in any American high school show like the ones you see on Netflix, so I didn't actually have any lockers to dramatically slam as I made my exit, or rather, even just to store my books throughout the day. So yeah, for me, I had to lug around all those books in my backpack throughout the entire day. Yeah, good times. Now this all changed once I got into university, as I had to take digital notes on my laptop, not because I wanted to, but just out of necessity, as it was the only way to keep up with those lecturers that spoke like 1,000 words a minute. And ever since last year, I've slowly transitioned back to physical note-taking, and my experience has been quite interesting. Alright, so these are my notes for an 8-hour course on the basics of Premiere Pro that I did last year to help me get a better grasp over the fundamentals of Premiere Pro, because let's be honest, until that point, I had really just been winging it on YouTube. I typically use a Pilot Frixion ballpoint pen as they look cool, feel nice to write with, and are erasable, which is kind of a cheat code for a pen. And I couple it with a Rodea notepad. I found that the Rodea brand makes really good notepads with high quality paper that's actually pretty durable. And I'll admit it that my note-taking style is more on the aggressive side, as I like to take notes of even the most intricate details, which help aid my understanding further. Now, there were 2 things I realized while I was in the process of taking down these physical notes for this Premiere Pro course, and the first was, well, I really need to work on my spelling. Yeah, it really is a crazy feeling when you're writing and you suddenly realize you don't actually know how to spell a certain word, or a bunch of words for that matter, and you don't have autocorrect to save you. So yeah, I definitely got to work on my spelling. The second thing I actually noticed was that while taking notes on pen and paper is actually a slower process, I found the process of actually writing down your thoughts and concepts on a subject really helps with understanding the information as well as retaining it. Now, this really wasn't that surprising to me, or to anyone I would think, because this is actually how I prepped for exams in high school. It still fascinates me nonetheless. So what was the process of note-taking actually like, and what was my thoughts on the overall experience? Well, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the process of physical note-taking. And while it is a slower process than digital note-taking, I personally felt a lot more present in the learning that was happening. And let's be honest, there's a lot less distractions when taking down notes with a pen and paper, especially compared to taking notes on my laptop, where YouTube has always been a tab away, and that really adds to the procrastination. And revision is also a lot easier for that same reason, as there are no distractions when you're reviewing your notes on paper. And it also helps with late night studying, as you're not going to be exposed to the blue light when looking at a computer screen. So you'll be able to review your notes and have a good night's sleep. Now, one thing I will say is that you really need to take care of your notes and ensure they're organized, as there is only one physical copy with no cloud backups. And so I opted to go with a cheap file with built-in folders to keep things organized. So yeah, this has been my thoughts on physical note-taking in 2023. And do I think it's worth it? Well, yeah, I really do. I mean, I enjoyed making this video, but even outside of this video, I'm going to continue to take physical notes as I have been doing since last year. It's definitely an underrated practice in 2023, especially when phones, laptops, tablets, iPads, and computers are just at an arm's length. So yeah, this has been it on my thoughts on physical note-taking in 2023. Stay tuned for my video on digital note-taking in 2023. It's part of this little series that I'm creating, and ultimately I'm going to put the two together and we'll see which is better in 2023. It looks like we're out of time, so I'll catch you in the next one. So yeah, till then.